Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's straightway go to the portion that we need to finish today, and then we'll start discussing it. So, Shamavallabha Mataji, can you please put it up on the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mataji, you have to open chapter 2. Yes. We have to finish from 2.21 to 2.30. Okay. Perfect.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Perfect, Mataji. Ved Vinashinam Nityam Ya Enam Ajam Avyayam Katham Sa Purushaha Partha Kam Ghatayati Hantikama Veda Vinashinam Nityam Yaenam Ajamavyayam Katham Sa Purushaha Partha Kam Ghatayati Hantikam. Translation. O Parth, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? Please move to the next verse. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grahati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirna nyanyani samyati navani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Next. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakah, na chainam kledyantyaapo, na shoshayati marutah. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Next. Achedyo ayam. So sorry, huh? 1 second. Yeah, this is now fine. Achedyo ayam. Adhyayo ayam. Akledyo ashoshya eva cha. Nityah sarvagatah. Stanur achalo ayam sanatanaha. This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble and can be neither burnt nor dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. Thank you. Avyaktoayam achintyoayam. ओके इसको हमको हाँ इसे तो पढ़ सकते हैं ठीक है अव्यक्तोऽयम् अचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयम् उच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि. It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. अथ चैनं नित्यज्ञातं नित्यं व मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि. If, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you will have no reason to lament, O mighty armed. So, after, we will pause here for and we'll discuss from 21st till 25th, and then we'll look at 26 because the direction of the conversation shifted in this case. First of all, I'm going to share with you some aspect of what I call spiritual illiteracy. And I would also like to share with you a pre-step before one can understand what Krishna is trying to communicate. Let us look at the pre-step first. Then we will look at the spiritual illiteracy aspect, and then we will make an attempt to understand what Srila Prabhupada is explaining and what Krishna is saying here. As of now, dear devotees, even if you cannot give up, or even if we cannot give up our attachments to the body, to the mind, to the intelligence, to the ego particularly, at least, at least we all can agree that leaving the body, soul moving out from the old body, worn out bodies, entering into a new body where it can, you know, make an attempt to live the way it wishes to live in this world. At least this much we can be sure of. This class of today is going to be a very, very deep class. And if you don't understand somehow, then just ask me to stop there and make an attempt to further explain. Even if we can give up the attachment to our current which is even if we cannot do
Prabhu,
that
your sound is fluctuating,
today.
Prabhu, not clear.
Breaking,
One
Prabhu.
second, bro. 1 second. Huh? Now it will.
Mm. Prabhuji is coming and not coming sometime.
Can you hear me now?
Now audible, Prabhuji. Now clearly audible.
Very good. Perfect. Bro. So just add, after this class, you should be in a position to feel some kind of burden off your chest. This, I'm praying to the Lord, should be the result of this session today, wherein I don't understand how to not think oneself as the body, how to not invariably think in terms of our name which we have in this life. We don't understand it yet. And there is no problem with it. Okay, no problem. Because that is the aspect. It's like, most of you know mathematics properly. So, you know, initially somebody will be told about a right angle triangle and then a Pythagoras and then sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, sec, cosec, cot, like that, and then higher level. So then initially you say, forget about theta. You just come know that this is perpendicular, this is hypotenuse, this is base, this is Pythagoras theorem, only this much. Similarly, I am saying in the first part of this class, forget about how can I not think in terms of my current identity. Don't attempt that question right now. Leave it. You just know that, okay, fine, I have this name in this lifetime, and I will be forced to leave this body. But I can at least understand from what the Lord is saying that I am definitely going to get into a newer, a better body, a fresh body. This much I can understand. What else? Also, all the desires that I have, except the title and the name, I will have inclinations for things for which I have inclination in this lifetime. I will have repulsions for things for which I have repulsion in this lifetime. Nothing, nothing is going to change. We think if I leave this body, something magical is going to happen. No, the impressions will be transferred as it is. Like you move away from one house to another, from a rented apartment, and you carry your sofa set and your double bed and your, what you call air conditioner, etc., etc. Then in the new rented house, sometimes one particular furniture goes way too old. Then you replace that with a newer one. Similarly, some of your inclinations, your propensities will, you will be tired of them. You will say, yeah, now I don't enjoy them anymore. I think I'm done with them. Then you bring in new desires. It's like bringing in new furniture in the rented house. So that is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. That you are changing the body, but nothing is going to change effectively except that this is the real loss for which people are afraid of. There are 3 or 4 types of fears of death. One is fear of the unknown. Where will I go? That's one fear. The second is fear of losing people around us, brother, father, mother, sister. Third is comfort zone. I am familiar with this territory. I want newness, but I want that newness to get added to my existing familiar territory. I don't want to, have something altogether new. We want to build on what we know. That's why when Krishna says Kalo Asmi and Sarva Bhakshi, Sarva Bhakshi means Mrityu, what you call death. It takes away every possession, which means which possession? Not the subtle possessions. Your affection for a particular type of set of eyes, nose, lips, everything, that type, attraction for that type is going to carry forward. Only the name, the person who was having all these attributes, and therefore you liked that person, that aspect will be gone. So if you want to make a list, there is fear of unknown, for which we detest or don't like the idea of death. There is, the pain of separation from people who we know. The third is the pain of separation from the comfort zone that we have. What I'm now going to say is a very beautiful thing. All these things happen when we don't have genuine knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Because otherwise, Bhagavad Gita tells us that the newer body will be taken and everything will get carried forward. and you will live again. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. It's not to learn it by rote. That, oh, now I remember it. Big deal. Barely. I mean, even a fourth grader can do it. You don't need a BTech or an MTech or a PhD for that. What is expected of a BTech or an MTech or a graduate, postgraduate, doctorate is when really it happens to you. When you are leaving the body, then you should be established, situated in this knowledge of na hanyate hanyamane sharire. When the body is slain, he is not slain. It means soul is not slain. It's not
Hare
killed.
Krishna.
Yes, please ask.
Prabhu, this kind of fear exists in means even in current life, when we want to change the type of job or situations, we hesitate to accept it.
Very, very true.
So,
Anything where there is comfort zone, one of the key features of mind is habit. Once you get habitual, it is very difficult to integrate new learnings. As you grow old, your ability to learn new things drastically decrease. Forget about death. For example, so many of us are here. Now, when it comes to, you know, uh, say using Instagram, there may be some value in Instagram as far as preaching is concerned. Under the garb of Instagram being nonsense, we get away with going through the burden of using it because it is new for us. We don't like it. Now you extrapolate the same concept onto changing houses, changing jobs, then that change is bigger. Now you extrapolate it further to change of body, then it would be resisted even more. So there is resistance to change in all of us. The only age in which the resistance is less or least is the age between 5 and 15. That's when we pick up new knowledge. Otherwise, we all, I mean, I'm talking about myself, for example. I knew from the very beginning that, I must know micros. Micro is a function in Excel sheet. How to run macros, sorry. Or how to learn pivot table, because it was a necessity for my presentation. Then I also wanted to learn some unique things about PowerPoint presentation. But as I grew up, as I aged, my body resisted. After joining Krishna consciousness, one of the things I thought of doing is to put aside a part of my day, barely 15 minutes, to learn something which is directly related with preaching, and it should be new. My body should not resist, because that is not a sign of a devotee. I'll give you an example. When His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj came to Mayapur, and Mayapur being the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, it's not different from Vrindavan, and he was liking it very much. When Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, when he visited Mayapur, Jayapataka Maharaj thanked Prabhupada. He said, Srila Prabhupada, thank you very much for giving me service here in Sri Dham Mayapur. I like Mayapur. Then Srila Prabhupada said, it is your good luck that you like Mayapur. But even if you didn't like it, I would have forced you to do your service. So some change we like, some change we don't like. But what is prescribed as our duty, then that change has to be introduced. Arjun is not liking the death of the comfort zone first. He's comfortable in not killing his kinsmen. He's uncomfortable in killing them. So opposite is also true. So he's not able to break that. We are not attached or detached. We are just attached to the cause of the Lord. So we do what Krishna expects us to do. It can't happen overnight, but there has to be a beginning from somewhere. I want to be Krishna's servant. I want to join Lord Chaitanya's army. At least that desire. Then one bit of sacrifice. Then maintaining that sacrifice. After a while, when you become comfortable, add another one. Like that. Then a situated sadhu, Brahma Bhut Prasanna Atma, na shochati, na kankshati. One who is situated at the Brahman platform, he does not lament, nor does he desire. That person is okay with any change that comes to him on its own accord. So, dear devotees, the pre-part that I want to bring forth and sensitize you all about is it's okay if you can't understand that how you should not think you are this body. Fine. At this stage, fine. But at least you should be able to see through that death will come, names will change, conditioning, temperament, propensity, inclination, these things will not change. You will carry forward them. And you will live them in a new body. Of course, supported by your karmic account. This understanding you should have. Even Hiranyakashipu also had it. He thought, okay, fine, I know the body will be slain. So I'll try to maximize my life with this title. But the day I die, all this austerity, all this religiosity will help me get a better body again. And this way, by constantly performing austerity, I will try to live nicely for eternity. I don't want to go to Vaikuntha. On the strength of my karmic account, I will live like this. And I was very amazed that what a clarity he had. It is just that instead of choosing surrender to the Lord and getting out of the cycle of birth and death, he said, I accept the temporary death, but I also accept this knowledge. So if I am performing austerities after austerities and religious duties, then I'll keep earning and keep my karmic account positive. I want each one of you present here on this call to digest it. The name will die, the title will die, the propensities will not die. And the soul wrapped up with these propensities will be taken away from this body and will be trained and put into the womb of mother who has similar thought patterns such as you and as well as father, and you will again live. I'm going to give a pause here and I'm going to ask at least 2 or 3 devotees to share their understanding of this pre-part. There's the main thing and this is the pre thing, so could I convey what I wanted to? Can two of you at least share what did I say?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, please share, Prabhu.
So Hare Krishna Prabhuji, what I could understand is like whatever impressions, only the body is going to cease to exist, but whatever our subtle body, intellect, and other things, and whatever desires we have will be transferred into the next life with a new body. This is what simple thing I could understand. And Prabhuji, I have one doubt. So you said that our ability to learn reduces with aging. Prabhuji, is it really true, or is it only because of the state of mind we have developed? Hare
It
Krishna
is
Prabhuji.
true. It is true because of physicality, also true because of mental makeup. Because
Okay.
the new cells are generating less, the older ones are dying more. Our overall attention span, because we have, as we grew up, we took a lot of things into consideration.
Okay.
National, international, local, regional, religious, gender based, office based, school based, college based, circumstances based. So many factors we took into consideration. And then after a while, it can't process so much information. So it
So
starts decreasing. So it's a technical truth actually.
okay. So Prabhuji, if we drop those things, our learning can still be continued.
No, Prabhuji. The rate of growth will
Okay.
undergo the same thing will undergo 6 transformations.
Okay,
So,
Prabhuji.
there will be initial birth and there's little growth and, as in after that stability and then, dwindling like that. So
Okay, Prabhuji.
nobody can reverse it. You may
Thank you.
use it better and it may look like you are getting, you are being smarter, but that's not the truth. It
Okay,
is just that
Prabhuji.
I had 100 rupees in my account and earlier I could only draw 40, but now I can draw, I have only 80, but I'm drawing 65. So
Okay, Prabhuji.
you can make better use, but your overall quota is decreasing.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Chidambar Prabhu, your one part about this understanding is correct, but I was also hoping to hear, not from you, but anybody who answers, that how is it related with what is the ultimate learning we need and what is this learning? How is it going to help us? Any devotee who would like to answer this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Ji
Um,
Mataji.
see, what I learned, I understood the same thing like Chidambar Prabhu, that
Yes.
like you gave the example of sofa, furniture, we change the flat, but we take the old furniture. So in this way, same thing like conditioning, temperament, everything we are carry forward in another life. So like you said, no, we have fear. We have fear. Where will we go? We have fear of death. So three things you told. If fear of death, where will we go means, and then people around us, we will leave them, and then comfort zone, we will leave the comfort zone. So, like Krishna is saying here that we are.
Mataji, your voice is breaking up.
Hare Krishna.
Now very clear.
So the three things you told about the fear of this thing, what fear we have, where will I go? All like people around us will not be there with me, and like comfort zone, I have to leave. And another thing is like today I understood that what I was there in my previous life, I am today also same, almost same, and I'm going to be same if I don't change my, you know, the propensities, I will be same. So
Very true. So how it helps is, it's like today at least you know what is a right angle triangle. Tomorrow when we will be talking about the higher level concept, this base was necessary. that, okay, transmigration of soul, I understand. Because there is no problem in understanding this as long as I keep on thinking, I don't like it, but it happens. I don't like it, but it happens. So we are not at the right, perfect platform. But even before this, even this understanding that I die, propensities don't die, they keep on going. And I'm very happy to hear Shamavalabha Mataji when you said, today you understood that death hardly changes anything. You were same, you are same, and if you don't act on your consciousness, on the strength of chanting the holy names and seeking mercy of devotees and honoring Krishna Prasad and going to Dham Yatras and reading Shastra, then you are going to remain same. It's very profound understanding. Even this much can make us humble and bring us on our knees before Guru, Vaishnav, Krishna. Then we will say that, my dear Lord, I am useless. Birth after birth. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Mam Janmani Janmani Ishware Bhavatad Bhakti Rahetu Kitvai. If, O Lord of giving life, if I have to take more birth, then birth after birth, life after life, I would like to perform devotional service, which has no other cause except your pleasure. Somehow or other, I have fallen into this. What's that line? I forgot. The initial line. O Nanda Tanuj Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishme Bhavambudhav. Somehow or other, I fell down. O son of Nanda Maharaj, I have gotten into this material pool. Kripaya Tava Padapankaja Sthita Dhuli Sadrasham Vichinte. Now you please lift me up and place me as a dust particle of your lotus feet. Dhuli Sadrasham Vichintaya. This frustration is liberating. It's a contradictory statement, but that's true. When you today thought that I am not changing, then you also know that death hardly changes any reality. It rather furthers our suffering. It doesn't change. Change in consciousness from Swabhavana Bhavit to Krishna Bhavana Bhavit. Perpetually being self-absorbed from here to Krishna conscious. That's the transformation. But such a good thing that when we are discussing it at length, these kind of inferences are coming forth. These inferences will gradually lead to more dependence on chanting. Then you will understand that it is not for some religious purpose that I chant the holy names. I chant because Cheto Darpan Marjanam, the very first thing that Lord Chaitanya says, these holy names cleans the mirror of the heart. There is the dust of impressions, and these holy names clear that dust. So you understood, with each such session, such class, association of Vaishnavas, you will this is sadhu sangha, this is satasanga. If it makes your understanding better, the purpose is served. And I'm not just addressing you, Shamavalabha Mataji. I'm sharing it with all the devotees who are present here. Then you know, why are you attending these sessions? Because we are attending and listening to Brahma Vidya. And it is separate from Bhautik Vidya. And you are beginning to get a glimpse of it. Now you know the purpose of life begins with purification. After purification, devotional service would begin. So, pre-stage should be that I will transmigrate. Now I'm coming to something called the spiritual illiteracy. Basically, what it means is that due to media, due to, propensity of interpreting the text of scripture on your own without any guidance, too many wrong theories have gotten circulated. So it is fashionable when someone leaves body, they will recite chapter 2. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati, or they will say vasansi jirnani yatha vihai. They'll keep on saying all this. My dear scientists, devotees, today you know that there is hardly any difference by reading, because they are just reading it out, parroting it. They are not, Krishna says towards the end of Bhagavad Gita, one who reads or listens to our conversation, he worships us with his intelligence. How does one worship with intelligence? By understanding. Because that understanding changes consciousness, at least initiates the change in consciousness. I'm giving you an equation of transformation. You may write it down for your reference. The transformation begins with hearing. From hearing, you can write hearing as first thing. Hearing equivalent to reading, equivalent to sadhu sangha. All three, one and the same thing basically. Hearing leads to interest. So after Shravanam, then it has to be Kirtanam, more hearing, which means hearing and then repeating. But Shravanam Kirtanam is fine. Then comes something called Mananam. You have to think on it. What we are doing is we are thinking now. It's called Mananam. We are meditating on it. After Mananam, then there is something called Paristhiti, situation. Then you realize that, okay, I have prepared for the exam. Let me take a mock test. So then you engage voluntarily on testing your patience, your sense control, your mind control, etc. How do you do that? By observing Nirjal Ekadashi or normal Ekadashi, or fasting on certain days, by developing a rigorous, nice schedule, sleeping on time, getting up, all of those things. This comes after you have sufficiently meditated. Once you are done with that, then comes a situation which is imposed upon you. But since you have heard, repeated, meditated, attempted, now you are ready for the final test. Now you will, high likelihood is there that you will pass the exam. What are those types of things? Death of a near and dear ones. Some big disease impacting your whole body. You becoming poverty stricken. Those are the situations, circumstances. And there, then you have to keep your spiritual aspect very powerful, very healthy. This is such a wonderful process. It's a process of transformation. I'm very, very pleased even while speaking it out. That little boy Dhruv, who was a Kshatriya by nature, felt insulted, but because he had other Kshatriya qualities, his anger was an inferior quality, but he used it for a proper reason or towards a proper direction. And in 5 months, first he gave up grains. He was on fruits and roots. Then he gave up those. He went on leaves. He gave up those. He just sustained on water. He gave up water also, each after 1 month. That little 5-year-old boy. And he captured the super soul in 6th month. And then when he saw the super soul in his heart, he was completely absorbed and he forgot breathing. And because the Lord was captured in his heart and he stopped breathing, everybody else became suffocated by the power of his austerities. But even that Dhruv, when he looked up to Lord Vishnu, he immediately said, I was foolish for such a little material gain. I was hankering for it. Now I don't need it. I need you, my dear Lord. That's the fall of bhakti. You ask for 1 paisa, Krishna gives you billions. What does that mean? It means Krishna pulls you out of this cycle of birth and death, which is technically termed as samsara, cycle of birth and death. Now I'm going back quickly to the term spiritual illiteracy. What is that? Statements like सब मोह माया है, जो आया है उसको जाना है, शरीर तो कपड़ों के समान है, इसको तो बदलना ही है. Little help these things can offer. You may, out of ritual, recite it, but now, today, you know. It's not that I'm not saying you don't go and don't recite chapter 2 if somebody dies. You do it, no problem. But today, you know the difference between reciting and thinking over it, discussing, elaborating. So, these all misconceptions, Bhranti, about how things are, they aren't the way these one-liner impressive quotes talk about them. It doesn't help. I can tell you from my own life, it does not help. No philosopher helps. No philosophy helps. The only thing in those dire circumstances is you start chanting and you start hearing. Don't hanker for the loss which is there or impending loss or assumed loss. You just take shelter of the holy names and say, my dear Lord, I'm going to get severely agitated and I will get bewildered because my current intellect is polluted, mostly polluted. It barely has some glimpses of your greatness. But you are not dependent on all of these things. So I want to take instant, immediate shelter at your lotus feet. Please provide me shelter. That prayer works wonders. You actually forget. And you do things which are unthinkable at your current caliber. And then you wonder, was it me? With such a loss, I could carry on. How could I do that? I don't believe it. कलेजे में राधा रानी और भगवान कृष्ण हाथ रख देते हैं तो भक्त ऐसी ऐसी जगहों से गुजर जाता है जिससे पहले वो नहीं गुजर सकता था. This process is so amazing that as long as you want to learn, you learn. But even if you are in a second grade, class, or grade 3 or grade 4, but if you get a test paper of PhD, the holy names can make you clear it. They protect. Despite all our inadequacies, the holy names protect. Guru protects. Vaishnavas protect. So therefore, never give up on, taking instant shelter of the holy names, of the pure devotees of the Lord. Pray to them. Because we know that our consciousness will get bewildered again and again and again. So the misconceptions which are there, people don't understand when they utter these things. Pasam se chiranani, nayanam chindanti. They don't know. They have no idea what they are saying. One second, please. I'm sorry. So these misconceptions about, what I mean by misconception is I haven't understood it, but I want you to understand. How can that happen? I can only make you understand something that I understand. But in today's day and age, people give classes on things for which they have no idea. Then they keep on saying, "Are you getting me?" Because they doubt. One who has money can give money. Fake promises don't work. I am struggling right now to bring forth the exact thing. So I took shelter of something called pre. That before we understand that, let us at least know this much. And the Lord was merciful. The kind of, it's not because I know Shyama Vallabha Mataji. No, it is because the kind of Tadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, as he says in Bhagavad Gita, I give the intelligence. The kind of intelligence he supplied, at least one very profound thought came to her heart, that it means I am not improving and I need to improve. Death barely makes any difference. The propensities are the root cause of my suffering, and I got to purify myself. Class, the purpose of the session is served. I am done. I am happy. That's why I preach. This is my currency. This is my business, my profit. That aha moment where transformation begins. Last thing now. Now we will discuss the tougher part of it. What is that precise position for which Krishna is making such long explanations? He is saying, who can kill? Nobody can kill anybody. Now I'm going to tell you something that you might not like, but even Krishna cannot kill us. Yes, that is true. Nobody can kill anybody, including the Lord himself. He may put us into perpetual, permanent forgetfulness. That he can do. But soul cannot be killed. We will exist. It is impossible to get killed for a soul. And he's trying to tell Arjun that if you can, this is the key part of the session, if you can understand that your current identity is temporary, but your permanent identity is, it would be a redundant word to say permanent identity is permanent, but it does not change. Your permanent identity is unchangeable. Now, kindly stay with me as we are moving from the pre to the main platform. The current identity will be taken away, knowing that it is taken away. Life after life. Arjun should understand that even if I take away the lives of all these soldiers, only I will kill their current identity, not the permanent identity. Forget about that, not even the propensities. So it's like at a mass scale, Arjun is changing the clothes of so many of those souls. That he is doing for sure. He is forcing those souls to change the clothes. Cloth means the body. This much we can do to each other. From cotton, you can make any type of cloth you want. But the reality remains cotton. The varieties of forms, etc., is an outside manifestation. It can, but you always know that it is not possible without the cotton. And therefore, cotton is the main thing. So Arjun is being told by the Lord, who can kill anybody? No one can. So then how can you kill? Or how can they kill? It means they will change your outer appearance or you will change theirs. This can happen. This is reality. But even then, nobody is killing anybody. Now understand, this is slightly tricky. How then, if I kill someone, it is considered as sin? When you kill out of sense enjoyment, desire, then it will incur a reaction on you. But when you kill out of sense of duty, then it won't have a reaction on you. ऐसा व्यक्ति मारते हुए भी नहीं मारता. That's the exact statement Krishna makes. So when you are on duty and you do things, and I'm not talking about material duty, I'm talking about things that please the Lord, which is yajna, tapasya, dan. These things are liked by the Lord. He wants us to perform them. He wants us to perform these three things. That's why he says, because he says, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvalok maheshwaram. And then he says, Suharat sarva bhutanam or sarvadehinam. And then he says, Gnatva mam shantim richati. Knowing me, then one attains peace. So, temporary identity can be killed during the fight, during the battle. Even we do that to each other. When husband and wife fight with each other, they take away a few minutes or a few hours of each other's lives. When there are prolonged altercations, altercation means, all kind of disturbing arguments, prolonged, then both of them lose health, mental, physical. So they are actually forcing each other to give up bodies, though they are not saying it. The point being made is we all are capable of changing other people's temporary bodies, but none of us is capable of changing the core identity. Last thing for the today's class, taking it back to the root of the conversation. Arjun is thinking that he will be killing these people. And once they are killed, everything will be finished. This is how he is thinking. And therefore, he does not want to kill them. Krishna is saying, They were, they are, and they will remain. You can't kill. He's going to get into womb of another mother in a matter of a few seconds or a few years, but he is going to take birth again. Who you think you have killed, and you kill him again, he'll again take birth. You can't avoid it. So you don't consider yourself the killer of anyone, because truth of the matter is you are not killing. Then technically, how should we frame our statement? You can force someone to give up. You can force someone to give up temporary identity. That's true. And that you should do as a part of duty, not for the purpose of sense enjoyment. I know the last part hasn't gone down well, but just remember this, and I will start the class from here next week, that I can force a person to give up his body, and then I will have reactions upon me if I'm doing it out of any reason which is personal. But if I do it as a part of duty, then one, nobody is getting killed, and I'm not going to get any reaction. Now, there will be time in your office when you know your boss is wrong, he's asking you to do something unethical, and your brain will say, keep your mouth mum. If you want to feed your family, just shut up. He will say that. And your sense of duty would say, no, on the decision of the boss, there is so much loss that's likely to happen, and it is unethical. And if you speak up, both things will happen simultaneously. Actually, you might be out of job. Actually. And guess what? Actually, you will be there in Krishna's eyes. Both will happen. But at that moment, Lord will not come. He will not disturb you. Only Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Then you should ask, consult, seek guidance, and then take appropriate action. Shishyaste aham shadhimam. Instruct me. Karpanya dosho aprahata swabhava. My own intelligence has gotten stolen due to my miserly nature. Dharma sammuda cheta. I'm completely now no idea what is right, what is wrong. Then one should ask. So I'm requesting you all, many times we will purchase peace over dharma in the name of maturity. And mind you, what goes around comes around. There will be reaction. Today you may purchase peace. How will you get it? Tomorrow then you will get a prime minister like that, or a chief minister, or an MP, or an MLA, or your corporator. You will have to tolerate things which, because you allowed them to happen. It will reflect. I'm telling you that Akbar and Maharana Pratap. Maharana Pratap, the reason he lost time and again was because everybody started going to Akbar. They were sucking up to him. And what was wrong with Maharana Pratap? His own brothers never supported him. Rather, they were always opposite. Despite valor and so much of strength, he lost it. But in the eyes of the Lord, he didn't lose it. He remained a sher ka bacha. But then, if you are on the side of religion, then you get agyatvas, then you get lakshagraha. I know it is scary, but then who said spirituality was easy? So keep chanting, keep hearing. You will become strong enough to resist any temptation. Inside, you will become powerful and rich. Outside, no matter what happens, you will be strong enough to resist any temptation.
Prabhuji lost the sound, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, I think Prabhuji has left.
Yeah, just checking maybe power.
Hare Krishna, is the class over? Should we all exit or?
हरे कृष्णा कलेक्शन चला गया था लेकिन अभी क्लास इज फिनिश्ड सो वी विल मीट नेक्स्ट सैटरडे ऑल ऑफ यू प्लीज कम हरे कृष्णा विल क्लोज द क्लास